Micro Maniacs is a name that only a few of you watching may recognise, but to me, this is a childhood-defining game. Created by Codemasters, Micro Maniacs is a PS1 game which is a spin-off of the Micro Machines series. You play as one of 12 racers who have been shrunk down to 1/360th of their size and are competing in a racing tournament to win the opportunity to become full-sized again. It's a fast, comical top-down racer, unique in its design, it has a lot of content and makes a hell of a drunk party game. Did I pique your interest? If so, let's get deeper into the game. Believe it or not, there is a plot to the game. Granted, it's in text form only, but it's there. The world is on the verge of an oil and food shortage crisis, and a potential mad scientist has an idea so crazy, it becomes a Matt Damon film. Dr. Minimizer proposes a plan to shrink the Earth's population to 1/360th of their size in order to make food and resources last longer and be plentiful for all. To achieve this, he enlists the help of 8 special individuals, victims, to help develop a super soldier to prepare the world he wants to create. He puts them through a series of endurance tests to determine which of the 8 has the best abilities for his super soldier army. As you can imagine, the endurance tests are a series of foot races. What you may not have guessed though, is that the game features superpowers. At the start of the game, you can only play as 8 of the 12 characters, each with their own unique powers. V4, the motorbike cyborg, Waldo, the nerd in a power suit, Vortex, the walking black hole, Pyra, the hot-headed lady, Twister, the yo-yo loving freak, Beatbox, the beatbox robot, Mesame, the psychic thing, and my favourite, Mormor. My favourite because I'm immature as fuck. You can also unlock 4 other characters: Dynamo, the racer with a bright idea, Toxin, the man who weaponizes the common cold, Roach, who is a non-copyright Spider-Man, and Project X, the steroid-munching nuclear bomb. The game has 4 modes. Versus teams, time trial are self-explanatory, and I'll get to them, but to unlock the 4 secret characters and 4 secret racetracks, you can either play Versus or the Challenge mode. Challenge mode is basically the story mode. You choose your racer and you'll work your way up the board to win the tournament. The first time you play this mode, you'll start at the bottom of the table on the game's easiest track. Good thing too, because steering in this game will throw off a lot of people the first time unless you've played Micro Machines before. You hold the X button to accelerate, use triangle to jump and square to brake. But the turning is tank controls, so left and right are in relation to your character. So when you press left, you turn your character's left, not your left. It's confusing at first, but you do get used to it. Scattered throughout the tracks are these glowing orbs. These orbs fill up your power bar by 1. Each one you grab allows you to use your character's superpowers. Each character has 2 superpowers assigned to L1 and L2. And the more power you save before using them, the more powerful the power is. Every character starts with both powers at level 2 as the maximum level. The level represents how many orbs you need to collect in order to use your powers at full power. So you can use 1 orb to use the weakest version of your power, but you can use 2 at once to increase its power. As you progress through the tournament, your character's powers will individually increase in level up to a maximum of 4, which further increases the power, as well as letting you use more orbs at once. They also change visually as they get stronger and become lethal in damage in some cases. There is, however, a downside to leveling up. You don't get a choice on how many orbs you can use at once, so when you press the button it uses as many as it needs to use the maximum power you currently have. Early in the game, a common tactic is to save up 4 orbs, then you can use 2 level 2 powers in a row, but as you level up, that tactic becomes impossible. The way the tournament works is an unusual but helpful way. Once you complete the first track, you move on to the next row of the table, where you have a choice of 4 tracks. To win the race and advance to the next row, you must place first or second. If you come third or below, you lose a life, and you get to choose a different track to try if you so wish. Run out of lives, and it's game over. There are no checkpoints or chances to save mid-challenge. Luckily, however, there is a way to make challenge mode easier the more you play it. If you come first on a race, the track gets a gold ring around it. If you fill a row with gold rings, then you can bypass that row and start on the one above it up to the 6th row, meaning you have to do less races. After a few races, you get to participate in a solo challenge where you navigate a maze collecting orbs. Collect them all in under a minute and you win an extra life. Once you choose a race, the loading screen pops up and you get to control your character. This is a good time as any to use the tank controls and get used to them. Once all players are ready, you are literally thrown into the race. Each track has a skippable panning shot of the track so you can get an idea of what's to come. Chances are though you'll forget it by the time it swings back to the players. The racetracks in the game are all unique and have something memorable to them. While they often share the same themes, the tracks never feel similar and there are a lot of visual moments that make you giggle or make you go, wow. One moment you could be racing around the top of a custom car, then the next you are flushing yourself down a toilet to reach the finish line. My personal favourite is the track where you race around a teenager's room, then jump into a games console and have to navigate an asteroid field to escape and keep racing. Not all races take place on foot though. Some of them allow the use of vehicles such as skateboards, scooters and even wasps. Each handle differently and require you to change your tactics while using them. The downside though is that powers can't be used in levels with vehicles, so you've got to rely purely on skill. To accompany the races, the game has a good soundtrack, a mixture of dubstep and electronic music that isn't annoying and talentless like today's music. The sound design in this game is very good. The noises your character make when running changes depending on the surface you're running on. The sound is very convincing too, and the game does it with very good accuracy. Here, have a listen. As well as cool moments, the tracks has several hazards in them that you need to watch out for. From tools left lying around on the track, to laser grids that force you to stop. If you do fall victim to one of these traps, try to cut big corners or go too far off the track, you respawn back on the track, by which time racers will have overtaken you. As enjoyable as the game is, it is a difficult game at times for the right and wrong reasons. During the races there is no minimap, so there will be plenty of times where you fall off the track or take a corner too wide because you couldn't react fast enough when the corner came on screen. The AI, however, knows where and when each turn is, and how to turn them perfectly to keep up with you and grab the power orb around the corner you couldn't see. So the best way to race around these tracks is practicing in time trial mode to memorise them, while also learning which corners you can cut and how to go as fast as you can around each corner. Going at full speed all the time won't always help though. Each of the tracks feels like an ice level, so going full pelt around corners often sends you into a big drift off the track. Recovering from this will almost always set you back to an uncoverable position. The camera can also be a problem. It rotates as needed so that you have a good idea of where to go, and often is very reliable, but it does have the odd moment where it might hide an obstacle you need to jump over, or make you misjudge a corner. The AI also cheats. All characters run at the same speed, yet the AI will speed up to catch up with you because the designers thought it would be a good idea to punish players who have skill. While these problems can be a pain and you can lose a race because of them, you can find workarounds with them in order to adapt. If you make it to the last row of the challenge mode, then you must place first in order to complete the game. When you do, you are given a short description of what your character does after the tournament, followed by a short animation. There is a reason to replay the challenge mode apart from upgrading your characters. Finishing a row of races in first place unlocks new features, such as cheats, tracks, or characters. Admittedly though, it can get repetitive quickly, but if you have friends, you can go into versus mode for a whole new experience. While I couldn't get any of my friends to play with me, you can race against AI character to play with you, because fake friends are better than no friends. I'm so desperately lonely. If you play versus mode by yourself, it's similar in the sense that you work your way up a table and you can level up. But in this mode, it uses elimination rules. If you fall too far behind or are hit with a lethal attack, you are eliminated. The remaining racer gets a circle of their colour added to the tracker at the bottom of the screen. and the first racer or team to fill the tracker up with their colour wins. When playing with the AI, it's like playing challenge mode, but with another human player, it tests friendships. I have fond memories of me and 3 other friends trying to push each other off this beam and trying not to be the one who gets zapped by this trap. Many good times were had here, and it was hilarious to watch people play it drunk. So what do you do when you've tried all the modes? Well, I still got a lot of enjoyment out of it with everything unlocked, though I acknowledge the childhood bias. But if you want something to do, you can mess around with cheats. Is the AI too good for you? Slow them down and secure victory every time. Is the AI too shit? Increase their intelligence so they keep up with you all the time. It's weird that hard mode is a cheat. Want to be a powerhouse? Use infinite power-ups to kill your enemies to death. Is the game not destructive enough? Race tanks with working turrets. Can you see too well? Flip the screen in Aussie mode. Why not combine a few of them and make your own fun? There are a good amount of cheats in the game, and codes you can find online. They all make the game chaotic in some way. In all seriousness though, Micro Maniacs is a very fun, obscure game. It's funny, mad, and has a unique charm to it. It's not perfect by any means, but it's what I would consider to be a hidden gem on the PS1 and would certainly recommend it to anyone looking for an untraditional racing game. So now that you've heard of it, would you play it? Let me know down below. Thanks for watching everyone, and remember, you're always welcome at the Spectrum.